Welcome to Harvest to Pour, the business of beverages, with your host, Matthew Shipp. This is the podcast for all of those who are involved in the agriculture all the way to the distribution of beverages. And now your host, Matthew Shipp.
Welcome to Harvest to Pour, the business of beverages, the podcast where we talk about all things of the beverage industry. I'm your host, Matthew Shipp. Today, I'm going to be talking about how to stay true to your vision while allowing flexibility for growth and new opportunities. I've been fortunate enough to interview a number of beverage industry owners and experts on this topic, and they've all shared some great insights on the topic. But what comes up a lot, one of the key items that comes up a lot, in fact, is having a clear vision and core values, but being flexible within those core values. So still being open to new ideas and opportunities, listening to your customers and adapting accordingly, but not completely going off the range based on your customer suggestions. And obviously investing in your team to create a positive work culture, creating those alternative currencies like Howard Lerner spoke about in episode 10, or encouraging them to expand out and go into competition, or finding ways that they want to grow within that company. And then finally, just being willing to take risks. And since the beverage industry is constantly evolving and there's people coming up with new craft ways of doing things, it's important to be open to new trends and ideas. Step outside your comfort zone, but still step completely outside the bounds that fractures the vision or your company. A couple examples of how I've seen the beverage industry put these principles into practice. For instance, Brandon, I also interviewed over at Course Coffee, encourages his staff to experiment with new drinks and offerings. And he stays very open to collaboration with other companies in his local region to help support each other and grow. But at the same time, his coffee is what's key, and he keeps within that vision. Howard of Caldy's Coffee stays true to his core value of quality and freshness for their coffee. To further push that quality in coffee, they encourage their staff to do competitions, barista competitions, and really drive that passion home for their coffee, which really helps, again, turn that over to the customer and steers back to reinforcing their core value of quality and freshness. Another example is Michael of a Shortleaf Brewery. He maintains a consistent core amount of what he brews for beers and offerings, regardless of the season. So if you like something that's a little more wintry, it's a little summer, he's probably going to have that. But that is his core, is bringing people together and having that abundance of different beers to always be reliably there. So if you're looking to stay true to your vision, you allow flexibility. The challenge is there's a ton of different ideas out there, and talking to other owners and consulting with other owners, they have lots of different ideas. And sometimes the idea will answer one question, but not the others. And I'll get into what those questions are and how an idea can which seems like initially like a good idea, can steer too far away from your core values. And it has an effect on your business, your team, and so forth. Connor over at Upshot really put this well. He said, having a clear core values and focus areas that define your vision while keeping soft edges to adapt. It's a great way of looking at keeping focus, but being flexible to expand and grow your business. But how do you maintain that vision with all these new ideas and distractions that occur while you grow your business? Like I said, business owners, tons of ideas. That's why they have that entrepreneurial spirit to grow, because they're always seeing for the next thing they can fix for. But now you have to become more of a business owner and choose to focus within that vision, but still grow within that vision. And so how do you do that? One way things could go wrong, an example is, it's easy to say, hey, this brewery down the road is doing all these events and they're bringing in, lots of extra revenue. Why don't we try that at our coffee shop too? Well, it does check one box. It's a revenue generator. So it does start working, but you start to notice that your staff is exhausted because they didn't expect to have evening events. And most times you say, well, they could adjust to that. Well, the biggest core issue is it went away from their values. It has little to do with coffee. Most people are morning time maybe lunchtime coffee drinkers, but you're usually not doing evening coffee samplings and espresso pools. And people just, the client base really is interested in that. So you have this tilt of expectation. So it's what's happening is you're getting away from the coffee, your focus. It's also really important to strategically invest your time and money towards growing your business while maintaining that vision. And this one may have grew the money, but it went away from your vision and affected your staff and your company. So how do you go about deciding, hey, this is a good idea or not? And can we pursue it? And will it help? Well, one way to do that is to create a keystone for your business. A keystone acts as a filter to run your ideas through to make sure you're still within your original vision for the business. Quite easy to create. There's 2 questions to ask. The first question is, say within 2 years, I like sticking with 2 years instead of 5, because a company can pivot pretty quickly within 5, but not so much within 2 as far as your vision goes. So in 2 years, what purpose will your work fulfill in the world and to your customers? So be very optimistic about that. Think what the future might look like in 2 years. So an example, I'm just going to keep on with my coffee shop today. In 2 years, our coffee will be regionally recognized as a top Midwest roaster. Or another one is in 2 years, our brewery, if you're a brewery, our brewery will be the leading producer of sustainable craft beers in the region. So those are very optimistic 2 year sets within your vision, within your goals you're having. So the next question is to come up with ideas or what of things that might stop us from achieving that success. So I want you to be very pessimistic. So the customers have zero passion for coffee. They just want to get their caffeine fix and head out the door. That could definitely affect your vision of being a top Midwest roaster. Or your baristas just aren't up to snuff and they're not really competition ready, and you'd rather not send them to a competition because you're afraid of the outcomes. That would definitely affect you being a top Midwest roaster. Or your brand awareness is not very strong and your community support is very much waning. You don't see regulars. This could definitely affect that community culture. And for instance, for the brewer was trying to build by being a producer of sustainable craft beers in the region. So once you get those pessimistic ideas out that could potentially stop you from achieving success, take each of those and turn those into a can we statement. So can we overcome this? For instance, can we elevate the passion of our customers have for black coffee? Can we train our baristas to be competition ready? Can we build brand awareness that creates strong community support? Now you have your keystone. You have your goal within your vision for next 2 years. And you have potential things that could stop you from attaining that goal, attaining that vision. Run your ideas through that. Make sure that the idea you run through is a yes for your 2-year purpose and goal. Does it fulfill getting you there? And does it, yes or no, overcome one of these can we statements? Can we achieve this statements? If it's no for one of them, chances are you don't want to do that. You don't want to pursue that idea any further. If it checks both boxes, that's something to focus on and hone down on and start creating solutions and ideas for. So now you've established a keystone to your company's key values. So each time you have an idea to grow your company, cross-check it against these 2 statements. Does it help fulfill the company's purpose? And does it help overcome critical roadblocks to your success? If it does, pursue it. Your idea may take some more ideation on how to execute it, and you can use your team for that. And if you do struggle with talking to your team to get these ideas out, because they contain a lot more expertise that could further enrich your idea and make it even stronger, that's where I can come in. And I help teams and their owners come together. I show them and give them structure towards communicating and collaborating and using their expertise towards solving problems and creating innovative solutions for their company. So once again, in conclusion, stay true to your vision while allowing flexibility for growth and new opportunities. And So just follow the principles again of create that keystone, run your ideas through that keystone, make sure they are yes for both of those questions, and pursue those ideas. So again, it's Matthew Shipp for Harvest to Pour, also of Emberry Solutions. We'll take your business from bottlenecks to breakthroughs. Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to Harvest to Pour, the business of beverages with Matthew Shipp. Check the show notes for our guest contact information and connect with Matthew Shipp on LinkedIn today.